Dandat Pranam, Prabhuji's Mataji, Lord Shila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी धन्यवाद प्रणाम जय श्री कृष्ण।
Prabhu, Jai Shila Prabhupada.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी धन्यवाद प्रणाम जय श्री कृष्ण।
Dandat Pranam, Shilata Mataji, Hare Krishna. Okay, we can begin now. Om Agyat Mirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sahavadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यैश्वरम् ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. So today we are going to discuss the 10th chapter of the third canto. We saw the last chapter. It was Brahmaji, praise for creative potency. And we saw how he got the darshan of the Lord in his vision. They had a conversation, and Lord Vishnu, he offers many beautiful prayers in a very humble state. And Lord Vishnu finally told that what he was, that his desire has already been granted. He was able to pray like that. That was also because of the service of the Lord. He was able to perform his tapa. Sorry, he was able to pray like that. That was because of Lord's mercy on him. He was able to perform that tapa, severe austerities. That was also possible because of Lord's mercy on him. And then the Lord says that the highest purpose, the highest goal, and the highest of everything is to be able to see me. And Brahmaji, you have already attained that. And then at the end, uh, Lord Vishnu also said that um, people actually don't love, if when they love somebody or they have affection for somebody, it's actually the affection for the soul, not for the body. And I am the super soul of the soul. So actually, the purpose of every relationship is to become attached to me alone. That is the purpose. So in this way, the Lord spoke very, very wonderfully, beautiful teachings to Brahmaji. Um, then um, the Lord said, by my mercy, all your desires will be fulfilled, and you will not be captured the by the illusory potency. Brahmaji also prays in that please um, give me these blessings that By doing this wonderful service to you, I won't become proud or won't think that I am the doer of what I am doing. And the Lord blessed him with that also. So then, after this wonderful conversation, then the Lord disappeared. And um, mm, now we come to this chapter. So then, um, Maitreya Muni, then he stopped speaking when he said, and then the Lord disappeared. Then Vidura became very inquisitive, and Vidura want to know, oh, then what did Brahma do? So Vidura said, how did Brahma, the grandfather of all planetary inhabitants, create the bodies of the living entities from his own body and mind? Then Vidura is very inquisitive, and Vidura is asking, oh, Brahma was the only living entity, and now it's fully populated from with various kinds of living entities. So came to how this happened? Um, so Maitreya was very the Maitreya, being the speaker of Shrimad Bhagavatam, was very eager to speak more and more and more. And Vidura was very eager to hear more and more and more. And this is a deadly combination. When the speaker is very eager to glorify the Lord and the listener is very eager to listen about the glories of the Lord, then the Lord actually manifests in those conversations. So Vidura inquired after he got that blessings, how all these living entities were created. Please tell the process, uh, um, what happened in between. From him being alone to everything is now widely populated. So Maitreya Muni became very enlivened um, by um, mm, by this question, and he began to reply. Um, then now we go back to our original. So the Lord disappeared. So Brahmaji, the Lord actually advised him that you meditate, and by my mercy, you will get the direction of what to do next, how to populate the whole universe. And again, this is not the first day of Brahma. This is every day of Brahma. And Brahmaji got up and Brahmaji is seeing that everything is destroyed. So Brahmaji is like, again, I have to create everything again. And he forgot how to create and how to do it. So the Lord said, you remember me, and by my mercy, you will have the intelligence. Bhagavad Gita also Lord Krishna says, um, I give them the intelligence by which they can come to me. Or in this case, I give them the intelligence by which they can complete or perfect their service to me. So then, as advised by the Lord, Brahmaji meditated on the Lord. He has seen him now. So he knows exactly the form of the Lord. So he meditated on that form for 100 celestial years. Celestial years means demigods, years. Very long time Brahmaji meditated. So after his meditation, after 100 celestial years of meditation, then Brahmaji saw the, the lotus and the water and the violent wind. So Brahmaji in his meditation, he would clearly see the whole lotus coming from the navel of the Lord and how it is covered by water and everything is filled with water. So then Brahmaji, he was empowered by the Lord. He got an intelligence from within, and the intelligence said to Brahmaji that drink the water and drink the wind. So what he did is, so now he is sitting and it's very fearful, because how will you create when the whole space is filled with devastating water? When that is the case, then how will you place the planets and how will you fill? Who will live there? First, you need an empty space, and it's like top of the universe filled with water. Then the Lord gave Brahmaji after 100 celestial years. He gave them intelligence and Brahmaji. So just like how Krishna, he drank the forest fire. So by the mercy of Lord Krishna, Brahmaji, he drank the wind and drank the water completely. And Bhagavatam says, Maitreya Muni says, that was because of his long penance, Lord's mercy, and his transcendental knowledge. He could understand this is the will of the Lord and this is gonna happen. So he did that and he was successful. So then now it's everything is calm again, and the water is at the very, very bottom there, under which the Lord was residing, and there is a whole space. So Brahmaji then he with his eyes he could see the whole lotus. He could see that the lotus is going throughout the universe. When it is covered with water, he jumped into the water. How much can he see? But when the whole water is drank up from the top, he could see this lotus is going all the way to the bottom of the universe. It is spread throughout the universe. Then he started thinking, what do I do now? And then he said, then Brahmaji thought, again, everything here is the mercy of the Lord now. Brahmaji is thinking, I mean, he's not thinking. Brahmaji is always a self-realized soul. Brahmaji knows this is the mercy of the Lord. He's using his intelligence. What do I do now? Now I have a lotus. There is no planets. First I need, if you want to populate, you need a place. Where do you keep those people? So first he was thinking, where do I put the planets now? Um, Then Brahmaji thought, I will create all the planets as they were before the destruction. Brahmaji remembers how they were there, where they were there. But because it was filled with water now, he kind of can't do anything. And then his remembrance came back. Um, mm, then, then Brahmaji entered into the whole of the lotus. And then he travels all over the lotus, which goes all over the universe. And then Brahma is alone right now. And then he is like, I will break this stem of the lotus into three parts. I'll begin with that. And then he called it the lower portion, the middle portion, and the upper portion. And then within these three portions, then he um, divided that into 14 further divisions. And basically, these are called 14 planetary systems or three planetary system. If you say three, then it's lower planet, middle planet, upper planet. Um, we see this example of Lord Vamanadev, whose appearance, whose we are fasting for Lord Vamanadev today till noon, and his actual appearance is tomorrow. And that's what he did: lower planet, middle and upper planet, and third step on Bali Maharaj's head. So he divided the whole lotus first into three divisions and later into 14 more divisions. Then he created 14 planetary systems, 14 worlds he created, um, so that the jivas can acquire those places. And he was able to do all this. I mean, Brahmaji is now playing with the planets and the planetary systems and lower planet, upper, and this is all within the lotus. And he is like, he's able to do everything. He's like the original creator of the universe. Um, but when Narad Muni asked him, we discussed this earlier, then Brahmaji tells Narad Muni, no, I'm not able to do it. It is because of the Lord was pleased and Lord's mercy that I was able to do what I was able to do. Narad Muni says, wow, Brahmaji, you are great. What you did by yourself. So Vidura asked here about the please tell me about the time about because everything like Brahmaji is doing all this thing, but everything is taking time. And Vidura asked, tell me about the time frame and tell me about just the time in general. And we hear that the time is another form of the Lord. So tell me about this energy of the Lord, which is called time. Actually, the next chapter is dedicated to time. We will see that. But here in three verses, Maitreya Muni describes something about the time, and very, very, very wonderful. And this time energy. So Maitreya Muni says, these time is the characteristics of time. Basically, time is the source of the interaction of the modes. These modes, they interact with each other because of time. Actually, time is an energy that makes the modes interact. Like we see, morning time is sattva guna, then rajo guna, and night time is tamoguna. So it is the time which makes all this variation. So time is that force, that energy. We also see in the original creation when Mahatattva was created, then Mahatattva mixed with the mode of ignorance, um, and created false ego and the time energy. We discussed this earlier. And then it turns into for Mahatattva interacts with the mode of ignorance and the time potency and results into false ego. So how all so time makes everything's work and time destroys everything also. So it is a source of the interactions of mode. Then time is imperceptible, nirvishesh. We say na, nirvishesh shunyavadi, that the God is um, the conception that God is impersonal is rejected by Srila Prabhupada. But the time is actually impersonal. So you cannot see it. It just acts. So it is imperceptible, cannot perceive it. It has no physical attributes. It's a force, it's an energy. It is, it has no beginning, it has no end. So if you think, will the time end after 10,000 years? No. It has, it's it will keep going. And it's eternally coming from behind. So it has no limits, past, present, future. Then time separates this material energy from the Lord. Because Lord is not influenced by time, nor is Vaikuntha planets influenced by time. Time is the force that distinguishes material world to the Lord and to the Lord's abode. Then it is the time, the force of time that divides the universe into various planetary systems. So everything is happening by the force of time. Um, and the time causes the universe to appear alike in the present as it was in the past and shall be in the future. So the whole universe comes together and then destroys everything within and then comes again. Brahmaji creates again and then everything again, end of Brahma will be destroyed, again is created. So this is a time force. These are characteristics of time. Then as far as the destruction is concerned, it is mentioned there are three types of destruction. Maitreya Muni explains. First type of destruction is the the Kala destruction, the time destruction, and this is the end of Brahma's life, um, devastation of all the universes, all the at the end of Brahma's life, all the millions of universe, Ananda Koti Brahman, all the universes are destroyed. This is the time itself destroys everything. Then I'll explain more. Then there is Dravya destruction. Dravya destruction means the destruction because of material elements. For example, we may have heard during the partial, at the end of Brahma's day, there is Sankarshan puts fire and destroys. Then the water, there are devastating water which destroys. Then there is fire element, water element, wind element. So destruction happens by due to all the material elements. That is called Dravya destruction. Kala destruction, Dravya destruction, and then there is Guna destruction. Guna destruction is one is destroyed by one's own action. For example, we see um, when Draupadi was mistreated by the Kauravas, then Lord Krishna reduced their life and killed all of them together at the battle of Kurukshetra. So Lord Krishna shortened their lives because of their own actions. Um, or uh, our body is destroyed, kind of gradually. Mm, so one is our own karma, because how long we live is also based on our karma. In the next birth, and we are born with fixed number of births. So these are all we are responsible for that destruction. We decide by good or bad our actions. So how living entities are dying because of their own karma. So that is one level of destruction. Then how at the end of Brahma's day, the material elements destroy. And at the end of Brahma's life, the time itself destroys everything. All the universes and um, Brahma and everything is destroyed. So these are three types of destruction. Full, which is because of time, every day by the material elements, and regular destruction of everything that is happening based on one's own qualities and action. And then it is described, and the last topic is the 10 types of creation. This topic describes. And this is what the chapter actually means. The division of the creation is the name of the chapter, how the creation is divided. So creation happens in 10 steps. And the first 6 steps are called sarga, and the last 4 steps are called the visarga. Um, in other words, first 6 steps is creation by Mahavishnu, and last 4 steps is creation by Brahma. And Visarga is secondary creation, Sarga is primary creation. So before Brahma appears, 6 steps are over. And then after Brahma, he takes care of 4 steps. So what are the 6 steps that of creation that happens before Brahma is born itself? So first, the Mahatattva is created. We saw the Lord glances at Mahatattva. Um, mm, then the modes, when the Lord glances Mahatattva, then the modes come into picture. Mode becomes activate. 3 modes comes. So this is the first step of creation. Then the second step of creation is Mahatattva interacts with the modes, which is Mahatattva interacts with Tamogud, results in false ego. So this is now false ego is created. So Mahatattva and 3 modes are created is the first step. Second step of creation is now false ego comes into existence. And then the third step is then false ego interact with the mode of ignorance again. False ego. Mahatattva, false ego again interact with tamogun and results in the sense objects. Sense objects. Um, um, and then the fourth step is false ego interact with mode of passion and results in the senses and intelligence. And the fifth step is false ego interact with mode of goodness and results in the mind. The mind and devatas responsible for those um, sense objects or directions. So then the first step is Mahatattva is created. Then Mahatattva is created. Then Ahankar is created. And then the next 3 steps is Ahankar with mode of ignorance, Ahankar with mode of passion, Ahankar with mode of goodness. So this is total 5-step creation. Ahankar with mode of ignorance, sense object. Ahankar with mode of passion, the uh, 10 senses, knowledge acquiring senses and um, um, working senses. Um, and then Ahankar with mode of goodness, mind, and Devata is responsible for these 10 senses. So then um, intelligence is created in the fourth step, which is Ahankar in mode of passion creates intelligence. And then there is ignorance produced. This ignorant, like Prabhupada says, ignorance means this is called tamas, which is basically the avidya shakti, which basically makes the living entity forgets who the living entity is, forgets that he is eternally part and parcel of the Lord. Is covered by this ahankar and other things. So that ignorance, Prabhupada says, this ignorant shakti of the Lord, which happens at Sarga, makes the living entity act like a fool. He thinks he's something that he's not, and he's bound up in those things. So these are called Sarga or primary creation or creation that happens before the Brahma appears. Then um, um, earth, water, fire, air, ether, which is created by ahankar in mode of ignorance, then those all along with intelligence, mind, and false ego and Mahatattva, then all these things combine and then make the universe. And when the Lord entered into each of those universes and Brahma is created, And now Brahma is inspired to pray for creative potency, and it is sanctioned by the mercy of the Lord, and he gets the intelligence to remove all the obstacles like the strong wind and devastating water, and the intelligence to divide remembrance, and the intelligence to divide it into 14 planetary systems. And now the planetary systems are divided and distinguished. Now Brahma starts creating the living entities. So the living entities are created in 4 steps. This is called the Visarga part. 4 steps of secondary creation is Visarga. So these 4 kind of living entities basically are the non-moving living entities, then the moving lower living entities, animals, then the humans, and then the devatas. So these are 4 levels of secondary creation. Again, these plants, animals, humans, and demigods. Basic. So now, regarding now, there is some description of the plants, the animals, the human beings, and the devatas. Um, okay. So the plants, it is said that they are of 6 types, 6 types of plants. Those who don't have flowers but have fruits. No flowers but fruits. The other one are who have flowers and the fruit comes from within the flower. Like the flower comes and from the whole of the flower, the fruit comes. So fruit and flower both exist in some kind of plant. Some kind of plants, no flowers, only fruits. Then some kind of plants are annual plants. They come only for a particular, they basically they live throughout the year. They're called annual plants, like Christmas is one of them. Then there are a lata. Lata means the plants that need supports. Then there is Twaksara, which is the plants that have hollow wood. Example is bamboo. Bamboo grows, but there is nothing inside. It's a hollow wood. That's how the plant itself is hollow. Then there is Virudhak, which is so one is Lata, one is Virudha. They are opposite. Lata means need support, Virudha means don't need support. So like money plant is Lata. Then this Bargad ka ped, people tree, and this regular normal big trees. They are called Virudha. Then bamboo are Twaksara. And then like Christmas is like Oshadhaya, which is annual plants. And then there are these ones, and then there are two who have fruits. One of them does not have a flower. One of them have fruit and flower. I'm not very knowledgeable. Prabhupada doesn't give purport there, so I don't know examples of which have fruits and flowers and which have only fruits but no flowers. But these are 6 types of immovable jivas that Brahmaji created. Immovable jivas. Um, this is also very clear indication in by Brahmaji that plants have lives. They are called immovable jivas by Maitreya Muni. So, how scripture says, and people believe later on how scriptures are absolute. Then another thing mentioned is they are nourished upward. Upward means the water, they are nourished. Upward nourishment means the water goes up for them. Um, and they are nourished and travels everywhere. So this is upward nourishment. Then it is said that they do feel pain when cut. It said, Brahmaji, Maitreya Muni says, when you cut a plant of any of these kind, they feel the pain. There are unlimited varieties in all of these 6, unlimited kind of um, plants who are stiff, and so many plants who are in lata form, so many plants who have no flower but fruit, so many plants who have fruit and flower. So these are so many kinds. And they don't exhibit consciousness. They feel pain, consciousness is there, but it's not evident. Means when you see a plant, seems like as good as dead. So consciousness is not evident there. Okay, now let us. I have some more Notes from the purport here. Okay. Yeah, that's all from this. The this is the seventh kind of creation. So the first was Mahatattva, second was Ahankar. Then Ahankar with three modes is third, fourth, and fifth, which is Ahankar with Tamogun. Uh, Ahankar with Tamogun brings earth, water, fire, air, ether, Panch Mahabhutas. And we discussed that earlier in detail. Ahankar with time, energy, and mode of ignorance give rise to um, air, and in that way we discussed first ether and then air and then fire and then water and then earth. So these are created. Then that is third level of creation, sarga creation. Then ahankar with rajogun, sarga creation, creates the 10 senses, five working senses and five knowledge acquiring senses and intelligence. Then the fifth level of creation is Ahankar with mode of goodness, creates mind and the Devatas. And the sixth Sarga creation is the Tamas, ignorance is created. So living entity forgets who they are. And anybody born in the universe is like born in ignorance. And that's what it is at Oma Gyante Mirandase. I was born in ignorance. We are all born in ignorance, unless our spiritual master opened our eyes with the torch of knowledge. So then these are six Sarga creation. Then Visarga creation is the seventh one, which is the plants. And we discuss six kinds of plants. The consciousness not evident, but they do feel plain when they are cut. There are so many varieties, and the nourishment goes upwards. Then there are the seventh, eighth one is the animal species. It is mentioned there are 28 types of animals, and they are divided into one hoof, two hoof, five clawed मतलब जिनके पांच पंजे होते हैं, जैसे बंदर, बंदर के पैर देखोगे ना, लेग ऑफ बंदर, पांच पंजे, so they are five clawed. Then if you see cow is two hooved. It's like one and then divided into two. Two hoof is like उनका पैर दो में भाग बांटा होता है. और शायद घोड़ा घोड़ा शायद एक ही पैर होता है उसका, उसके पांच नाखून नहीं होते. So these are one hooved, two hooved, five clawed. Then some are aquatics, some are birds, some are in the land, and they are divided. So total 28 types. Some are types of birds, some are types of land, some are types of aquatic. उसमें भी अलग अलग वर्जन है, which comes actually later on, comes in detail in Lord Kapila's teachings. Animals with one leg, animals with two legs, animal with no leg, animals with 100 leg, animals with more than 100 leg. And same with different kinds of aquatics. So total, if we divide, then there are 28 types, and all of them were created by Brahmaji. Then their nourishment is horizontal. Horizontal मतलब वो जनरली चार लेग पे होते हैं ना, तो वो खाते हैं ना, तो ऐसे फूड ट्रेवल करता है. ये जो पेड़ है ना, पेड़ का पानी ऊपर जाता है, गोस अप. दीज एनिमल्स, शेर खाया तो सांप खाया ऐसे जाएगा. So their nourishment is horizontal. Then they are only concerned about eating and sleeping, bas, and fear. This is all. Uh, um, um, they understand their needs by smell. So that this is edible. No, this is dangerous. So everything they just use mostly their smell sense. Okay, now I have some notes. These are very nice. So Prabhupada says these are lower beings. This is from the purport and translation, mix of both. They are lower beings, lower than animals. Then Prabhupada says they are extensively foolish and ignorant. अव्वल दर्जे के बेवकूफ लोग हैं सब लोग. Extensively foolish and ignorant, all these animals. They know their desirables by smell. So what they like, they no. Very nice. And then they know they're desirable, what they want, what they don't want. They know that, or they acquire knowledge through smell. They are unable to remember anything within the heart. So, um, just like they live by instinct. So they don't remember, oh, this is something I smelled yesterday. That memory is not there. So they are unable to remember anything within the heart. So it's just um, smell desirable, eat non-desirable, and keep going. Um, their knowledge is only of their hunger and thirst. That's all. That's all knowledge they have. Whatever understanding they have is just about hunger and thirst. Water I want, food I want, what kind of food I want, what kind of food I don't like. So that's all they know. That's why it is said eating, sleeping, mating, defending, and that's all they are concerned with. And that's what Mahabharata says, living entities who are also concerned only with what to eat, what not to eat, what to drink, what not to drink, then they are no better than animals, it is said. Because these are the characteristics of lower animals. Their knowledge is only of their hunger and thirst. Every time they're just thinking of what to eat, what is desirable, what is not desirable, and sleep and mate, and then try to save life, fear, and then they get up and then again look for what to eat, what not to eat. That's all. So they're extensively foolish and ignorant. They have no understanding within their heart. Their understanding is only limited to hunger and thirst. They have no acquired knowledge. They're not learning from the world. They have no acquired knowledge. Can't think. Like Prabhupada gave an example, no? Like a deer, this is deer in a row, fifth deer is getting slaughtered, and the deer next to it is busy eating grass. And the deer cannot think, this, I'm going to get slaughtered next. I can run away from here. The deer cannot even think, let me run away. वो जो भी goat है, जो भी can't even think, let me run away. वो देख रहे हैं बाकी दूसरे का मृत्यु हो रहा है. इंसान, human, he learns from the word, and he can predict the future, and he can sense very high intelligence, actually, humans. But animals just can't think. It's just that's why they are considered as lower animals. Like, they are better than plants. Plants don't exhibit consciousness only. Animals exhibit consciousness, but their consciousness is limited to hunger and thirst. Plant, they don't exhibit, like, conscious, not evident means they're not even looking for hunger and thirst. You provide, I survive. You don't provide, I die. But animals, they're at least looking for hunger and thirst, and looking for, and then fear. So these, they become evident, but it's limited to only that, using their smell sense. Um, mm, they have no vision of future, what's gonna happen next, what I should be careful. Like, the humans are very sharp, very developed intelligence. That's why they say that very, very rare to get a human birth. Um, um, their intelligence is limited to smell. By such smelling intelligence, they can understand what is favorable and what is unfavorable. That much how intelligent they are. Very, very interesting how Metta is describing the animals, actually. Then Prabhupada says, even the most ferocious lower animals such as tigers can be tamed simply by regularly supplying meals and accommodation for sleeping. Circus में शेर होता है ना, he is willing to do, इंसान घोड़े को थोड़ा घास खिलाता है, खच्चर, गोरा खच्चर, पूरा लोड धोता है वो, सुबह से शाम तक, ऊपर नीचे, ऊपर नीचे, ऊपर नीचे, पहाड़ों पे चलता है, थोड़ा सा घास खिलाता है. तो यू गिव द एनिमल लिटिल बिट ऑफ फूड, एंड लिटिल बिट ऑफ फूड, and some water. Hunger and thirst, you provide, and sleeping. You provide these things, and he will be your servant for the rest of your life. Um, Even tiger can be tamed, Prabhupada says. Prabhupada says only exception is snakes. They cannot be tamed. Even if you provide everything, they can still bite you, and that's why they should be killed, Prabhupada said there. But otherwise, okay, so these are some characteristics of lower animals. Um, they are extensively foolish and ignorant. Their intelligence is limited to their smell. Their nourishment is horizontal. They have knowledge only about hunger and thirst. They don't acquire knowledge or can't think about future, or they just cannot take experience from the world. They just, I mean, they may get experience, whatever experience they have is instantaneous. They don't keep it in their heart and remember them and learn over them. That kind of development is not there. Um, their intelligence is limited to their smell organ. And because as long as you supply meals and sleeping, you can tame them, whether it's tiger also, except snake. Okay. Then then now different kinds of like cow, goat, buffalo. These are some of the animals that Maitremuni says, which has the hoof. Hoof is like, hoof print of a calf बोलते हैं ना, पैर का जो नीचे का रहता है, वो दो में डिवाइड होता है. अब काऊ का देखोगे तो ऐसे जाता है. It's like this, like this. So there are some animals who have similar cloven hoofs बोलते हैं, और hoof divided into two. Example is गाय, बकरी, um, भैंस, uh, deer, uh, lamb, sheep, uh, uh, ऊंट, camel. So these all have the similar hoof. Then कुछ लोगों के, कुछ एनिमल के पंजा होता है, पंजा, 5 nails. एंड एग्जाम्पल आर बिल्ली, बिल्ली का पंजा होता है, फॉक्स, शेर, जैकाल, डॉग, लायन, मंकी, एलिफेंट, टॉर्टोइस. टॉर्टोइस के भी पंजे होते हैं. एलिगेटर, वो चलता है ना, एलिगेटर वो उसकी तरह होता है. एलिगेटर इज लाइक क्रोकोडाइल, तो उसके 5 पंजे होते हैं. सो ही हैज 5 nails इन हिज क्लोज. पंचनखा, ये लोग थोड़े डेंजरस होते हैं, ये वाले एनिमल्स. Or some of them have only one hoof, not even divided into two. Example is Goda, Khachar, um, Mool, wild cow. Some of the cows are like that. So there are these total divisions are 28. Then some are birds, uh, heron, vulture, crane, hawk, peacock, swan, sarasa, chakravaka, crow, owl, and various others. Okay, now we go to the eighth, the ninth creation, or the second last creation. So there are 6 sargas we discussed, 4 visarga. Among visarga, one is immovable plants, another is lower species animals. There is seventh and eighth, and nine is the human. Higher than plants is animals, and animal are also extensively foolish and ignorant, and better than them is humans. Humans nourishment is downwards. ऊपर से खाते हैं नीचे जाता है. ट्रीज नीचे से खाते हैं ऊपर जाते हैं. Animals horizontal nourishment. So nourishment is downward. Animals are more passionate. Humans are passionate by nature. Animals are ignorant by nature. And same as plants, ignorant by nature. Humans are passionate by nature. And passionate, Prabhupada says the human is more passionate than the animals. Prabhupada speaks about sex life there. Prabhupada says, and thus the sex life of a human being is more irregular. The animals have their due time for sex, but the human beings have no regular time for such activities. जानवर का होगा ना, there is a mating season for them. ये मई के महीने में मेट करते हैं, बाकी समय ignorant रहते हैं ना. I mean, it's lower than animals' consciousness, but that's why there is no desire for mate other than a mating season. I mean, that's what Prabhupada says here, that animals, animals, animals have their due time for such activities, but humans are irregular because more passionate, so more and more they want to engage in such activities. No regular time for such activities. Okay. And then what else is there? They are dedicated to work, the humans. They work very hard. Um, that's why it is also said, Bhulok is karma bhumi bolte hain. There is only one type of humans. There are 6 types of plants. We discussed 28 types of animals, but only one type of human. And they are in great distress. It is said humans, lot of misery they go through. And Krishna also says, manashasthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. मन और इंद्रियों से um, they are struggling very hard because of mind and the senses. But this is very nice that Bhagavata Metta says, although they are in great distressful condition, they think themselves happy. This is another characteristics of human beings. They think they are happy, although they may be in distress. Although in distressful condition, also they think, no, this is very nice. I'm happy here. So this is the 9th kind of creation, which is a human being. And then the 10th kind of creation are the devatas, the last type of creation of Sarga creation. Among devatas, I will take the names. There are Pitras, the forefathers, Pitris. There are Asuras. Asuras are also considered devatas because they are in the higher planet. Above Bhulok is Bhuvarlok. Bhuvarlok are the Asuras live. Asuras are the sons of Diti, and Suras are son of Aditi, so they are brothers, but they are also considered as devatas. So there are Asuras. This is very interesting that in Bhagavatam, um, Asuras tell to Mohini Murti that, see, we are situated in mode of goodness. Actually, they are situated in mode of goodness. So amazing. Actually. One second, I'll put my charging. They are Asuras, but anybody above, below humans are mode of ignorance. Above humans, higher planetary system are mode of goodness. So there is Bhuvarlok, Asura and Suras. There are Devatas who are in Swarglok and others like Indra, Chand. They are called just Devatas. There are Pitras. Pitras actually live, um, they are also mentioned here as Devata category in Sattva. There are Pitras. But there is suffering, lot of suffering there. Then there is Asuras or demons. Then there is Gandharvas and Apsaras. Gandharvas and Apsaras, they sing very beautifully, and they dress and they look very beautifully, and they go to Asuras, they go to Devatas, they go to Brahmalok also. And they are basically traveling singers. And these are class of people, Gandharvas and Apsaras. Apsaras also travel. Then there are Yakshas and Rakshasas. Yakshas are like, they are ghostly being, Yakshas and Rakshasas. Um, uh, Kuber. Kuber is the leader of Yakshas. And uh, very good, Kuber is very good friend with Lord Shiva. So they are another kind of beings who are different from Indra, Chandra, and different from Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, different from Pitras, different from Gandharvas. Another place where Yakshas come are in fighting with Dhruv Maharaj. He fought with Yakshas and killed many of them. Then Kuber came and stopped. Then Brahmaji came and stopped. Then Dhruv Maharaj stopped. So that's where Yakshas also come. Then there are Siddhas, Charanas, and Vidyadharas. Um, Prabhupada says about Siddhas, Prabhupada says they live in a Siddha Loka. Siddha Loka is between the earth and Bhuvarlok. In between, there are higher beings. They are called Siddhas. Siddhas does not mean perfected souls. But Siddhas are like higher beings. They can go anywhere by their mind, they can travel. So they have many mystical powers. They all lie in the same category. And when Krishna comes, then Siddha, Charanas, Vidyadharas, when they saw the universal form of Lord Krishna, they started showering flowers. So those are another kind of beings. Then there are Bhutas, Pretas, and Pishachas, followers of Lord Shiva. And then the 8th one is Kinnaras, Kim Purushas, and others. So how many types of devatas are there actually? They are all described in majorly Sattva-guna. Of course, different degrees. Those in much higher planet like Satyalok or Tapalok, they're like too much in goodness. Others have some passion, but humans are mostly passion. Then it keep becoming more and more goodness, and animals are like grossly ignorant in Tamogun, and plants are like fully consciousness is not even evident. So these are four kinds of uh, Visarga creation. I will read something from Prabhupada purport here. Prabhupada said the Siddhas are inhabitants of Siddha Loka, where the residents travel in space without vehicles. At their mere will, they can pass from one planet to another without difficulty. Therefore, in the upper planets, the inhabitants are far superior to the inhabitants of this planet. So all these eight people, whether they are bhutas, pisachas, they are way more, um, they are superior to humans. That's why they can play with humans now and humans surrender because they are superior beings. That's why they can play with us. So therefore, in the upper planets, the inhabitants are far superior to the inhabitants of this planet. And in all matters of art, culture, science, since they possess brains superior to those of human beings, they can sing better, dress better, look better, and they have better capability to fly. They can do everything better. So they are more superior brains, Prabhupada says they have. The spirits and jinn, spirits are like pretas, pisachas, and jinn mentioned in this connection are also counted among the demigods because they are able to perform uncommon functions not possible for men. But humans cannot do. They can do many mystical things, but we cannot do. Um, uh, so that's something more on devatas. Hmm. Okay. Now come to almost now that was the finish. Okay. The last couple of verses. Uh, they were devatas which were created at sarga level. We discussed ahankar in mode of goodness create devatas and mind. So those are sense devatas. They come under sarga. And the devatas created by Brahma are different kinds of devatas and they come under visarga. Uh, and then the four kumaras, they come under sarga and visarga. And the reason they are mixed creation, four kumaras, because Brahmaji meditated on the Lord. And Brahmaji also is a mixed creation because he comes from the Lord. Um, he comes from the Lord. I mean, he is more like a sarga actually, creation of the Lord Brahma. But Brahma meditated on Lord Narayan, and that's how the four Kumaras were born. So he came from Brahma, so he is Visarga. But he came because of the meditation of the Lord. That's why he has that the four Kumaras are they come because of meditation on the Lord. So the Lord element and Brahma element both are there. So they are called mixed creation, both Sarga and Visarga combined. Thus, the chapter ends, and Maitre says, and I will describe about the time. Actually, the next chapter is the division of time. And Maitre also says, and I will also describe the Manvantaras and the Manus and the descendant of Manus and more about the creation. Okay, so that's the chapter. If there any discussion, we can see now. Any question?
Hare, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhamma Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for being very refreshing. Prabhuji, my first inquiry is for you, we hear that the 10 parts, the first 6 parts being Visarga and then the Sarga and then the Visarga.
Hmm.
So we hear that the last part of Visarga is the last part of Sarga is the ignorance. So
Hmm.
this ignorance is different from the mode of ignorance?
Mode of ignorance is material mode, na? This ignorance is the forgetfulness of Jiva. For example, one may be in mode of goodness like Devata, but they are covered by the ignorance that makes them feel they are devatas. They also don't realize
That,
I'm part and parcel of Krishna.
so Prabhuji, is it different from the false ego? Because we hear the false ego comes earlier.
It is a manifestation from false ego, but
Mhm.
it is described as every living entity who is born in ignorance. They are interrelated. If we see, the source is false ego, probably. The source of mind is also false ego. The source of intelligence also false ego. The source of senses and the sense object, earth, water, fire, air, ether, they're also false ego. Still, they are considered as different elements also.
So can we say this ignorance of forgetfulness of Lord, it is not as subtle as the false ego. False ego is even more subtle. Can
Yes,
we say
Prabhu.
that?
Yes, that is correct. Because false ego comes before the creation. It goes from subtle to grosser, 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 like that.
Okay, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, then we hear that the Kumaras, when they come from the mind of meditation of Brahma on Lord Vishnu, because they're coming from Brahma, so there is a Visarga part, but meditation is there, so Sarga part is also there. So I was contemplating that even in this, like in, is the meditation on Lord Vishnu makes the thing Sarga? What I'm trying to ask is like even in
Yeah,
this
I
material world,
understood.
yes, okay,
My understanding is, I mean, there are so many pure devotees everywhere, but Maitramuni only describes there is Sarga, there is Visarga, and he specifically describes the four Kumaras are mixed creation. So I think they are like really, really, and they also come under the incarnations of Lord. If we see in the first canto, third chapter, the incarnations, Narad Muni comes there, Vyasadeva comes, and four Kumaras also comes there. So like Shakti Avesh. Um, so we call Vyasadeva also incarnation in a way. Um, but we know that he is a living entity, but he is empowered. So four Kumaras, I think they come in a different category.
different category. Yes, 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 yes. And when the last inquiry is upon the development of consciousness, we hear that the plant they just have that consciousness limited to whether if you feed me, I will live. If you don't feed me, I will die. Animals they have the consciousness that they are feeling thirsty or hungry, like that way. Different, and then the humans come, and then the devtas, like asuras or suras comes. So, Roji, my inquiry is upon this consciousness development. Is it linked with the evolution of the eternal swarupa of the soul? What I'm trying to ask is, Prabhuji, like as when the soul is in the animal body, then the consciousness is little less. In humans, it is developed. So when we say developed, does that mean that the ignorance part or the part
Yes,
that makes one forgets Krishna, that part is lesser in humans?
yes, correct, Prabhu.
If it is true, Prabhuji, then um, uh, is that their eternal Swarupa is more evolved? Like we, as spirit soul, we are eternally connected to the Lord, and we all have our rasas. So that rasa is in very undeveloped form. So when we say consciousness is more developed, is it linked to that the Swarupa is more evolved like that?
They are
How
less,
to?
yeah, they are more in passion, and once they become in goodness, now they can fly at their will. They have all these mystical powers, but none of them have understanding of what their spiritual form is. It's like they are more developed living entities, but they are all still covered by the ignorance aspect of who they are. But they are more evolved. They can better understand this world and they can better exploit this world. They have better powers in this world.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm sorry, maybe a little out of the topic. If you allow, can I ask more on this?
Yes.
So, Prabhuji, like we hear that I am the witness of the body and the mind, like we hear in second chapter. So, like I am the witness of the body and the mind. So, in a way, Prabhuji, this I who is witnessing, the ignorance is still there in the sense that the rasa is The ignorance is still there, forgetfulness is still there, Swarupa is not developed. But when we say that witness is there, so who is actually witnessing? If the consciousness is developed to witness, but the Swarupa is not yet developed, but the consciousness is witnessing. So that means there is some disconnect in the evolution of the Sambandha
Understood.
and the, like, I'm confused on
That's
that position.
that's for those who are practicing spiritual life and their ignorance is reduced by Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militamena Tasmai Shri Guruvena, by the mercy of Shri Guru and Shri Krishna, and by the path of devotional service, that ignorance is getting reduced. And then they are coming more to the level of soul. And I, who witness the body and mind, to the extent we are able to witness the body and mind, means we are going beyond body and mind. So that opportunity is there in human form of life by practicing spiritual life. But in general, whether demigods, humans, or animals, when they're not practicing spirituality, they're all covered by ignorance. But those who are more developed can think what is life all about. So they have opportunity that higher intelligence or developed consciousness can be used for self-realization. The lower animals just can't think on that level. But still all are covered till they take up spiritual life.
Okay, Prabhuji. So what I understand is it's a facility for higher realization, but
Um,
it's not directly linked in a way.
they don't have high realization just because they're in mode of goodness. But they are better situated.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for very nice questions. Okay. Any other question anyone has?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandar Pranam. Krishna Prabhupada. Prabhuji, I'm audible.
Yes.
Prabhuji, how come Asuras? I know that you mentioned like they are about Bhuloka. How come they are mode of goodness? Like that I did not understand. Like Asuras, like if you talk about Hiranyakashipu, Raman, and then they were always not at all in a mode of goodness. I mean,
Yeah. So these are probably these are asuras like Bali Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj. Hiranyakashipu is also there, just like in humans now. Some are like so much in ignorance, and some are in passion, and some are in goodness, right? But then if we see majority, the class of humans, then they are majority in passion. Likewise, variation is there, Prabhuji. Like
and
we
how
see,
about Bhut Paret and Pishacha? They cannot be in the goodness over there. I mean that. You also mentioned, Prabhuji, Mahatma Ramani also mentioned that Bhut Paret and Pishacha is also mode of goodness. So how come they are mode of goodness then?
see, Prabhu, like think, um, I mean, this demigod class is goodness. I will explain. Just like animal species, Prabhuji. There is monkey and there is cow, and there is animal and tiger. So we also hear tiger is mode of ignorance, monkey is mode of passion, cow is mode of goodness. You heard that, right? है ना? And
Yes,
among humans also, we see some people in mode of goodness, and when I see myself, more of passion, and there may be some people who are mode of ignorance also. So variation is there. But then the class of animals in general, the so it's like there is division, and there are many divisions within division. So in higher planets also, there are sages like four Kumaras. Wow. And then Narad Muni and then there is Indra. We hear more in passion, right? Because he want position, fame. And then we hear these Pisachas and Bhutas and their ignorance, and that's why they become followers of Lord Shiva. So variation is there in all the three classes. But still it is mentioned that this Earth planet is mode of passion. Lower planets mode of ignorance, and higher planets are, and just above Earth, there is little bit more passion, little bit goodness. And so it's not like one absolute term of goodness. There is whole variation, Prabhuji. And the more higher, lot of goodness. And just above Earth is like there is lower modes there.
okay, Prabhuji. Yeah, thank you.
All right, Himanshu. Anything else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam, Jai Sri Prabhu.
Then
So, Prabhuji, there are n number of universes, right?
Yes.
which comes out of Mahavishnu's force. So the universes contain only Earth, not Earth, right? All 14 planetary systems
Yes.
comes in one universe.
Yes.
So like that, there are a number of universes, means there are so many 14 planetary systems in different universes, right?
Yes.
Okay, but all universes contain only the plants and everything, whatever is just now you described
Yes.
that it's
8.4 million species is spread throughout all the universes.
okay. So species types are fixed. Only they same species types may occur, like may be living on different universes.
Yes. There. Yes.
And another question I had is like when we say that when we go to upper planets, there is more mode of goodness. So still false ego and all these present, right? So
Yes.
because Indra, he had pride, right, in his mind, so he that Govardhan Leela happened. So still in the mode of goodness, one may have pride and illusion or all these terms, right?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, as I said, Mother, Indra, some passion is there, but his goodness is more than humans. Like way more. Indra's goodness way more than humans. But like even when we become good, na, still we want pride actually. Still we want fame, still we want to be respected, even if we advance. So these are like whole variation. But those who are pure devotees on the earth, they are way better than, like it is said, Ebe Jasha Gushuk Tribhuvana. Their fame is spread even the higher planets because they, by their sadhana, have gone beyond the consciousness of all these people. They're all higher planets, all covered by ignorance. And this spiritual master, he is beyond all of them, have attained self-realization and love for Krishna. And he is not in goodness only. They are in goodness and passion. He is beyond. So he is respected by all Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Surya. They all respect these pure devotees. They're very high. So one can elevate oneself to those level, and that's how these pure devotees, Prabhupada also says, they develop all the mystical powers. Mystical powers also with mode of goodness and advancement of consciousness, all these things also comes. But they are distraction. And that's why Rupa Goswami says, Bhukti, Siddhi, Mukti, Kami, Sakale Ashanta. They are all disturbance to the consciousness. But they start getting all these things actually. We see many of our pure devotees having some mystical powers now. Even
So
we heard the mystical power of um, some of the mystical power Jayapataka Maharaj and Gopal Krishna Maharaj in their glories we hear. They have. Yes, Mataji, sorry.
yeah, so then I was thinking like then what is the benefit for devtas to be like always in mode of goodness? Still like they fall down, right? Like
Correct.
have they don't have the benefit in sense of spiritual progress. So uh, why they are always in mode of goodness? I mean,
Just good karma. They perform good karma and they have higher facility, higher developed consciousness, more mystical powers, more facility to exploit the material nature. And all they can enjoy more. Animals, lot of suffering, humans, lot of distress. Plants, consciousness not even visible, but they are like they can really go anywhere they like and they have more uh, freedom and exploit this more, make full use of to enjoy this material world. So more developed, but good karma.
because I thought like devtas are also uh, they are like carrying out some work in particular department, right? Like Varun Devta, he is the
Yes,
particular
yes.
section he is handling. So is that connected something that for they if they are in goodness they can handle that work better? Is that the more
Very vast work. I mean, we struggle with hundreds of people and thousands of people to develop the water department in a city. They are taking care of the water department of the whole universe. So very vast work. There is a lot of potency there actually to handle that. correct?
Yes, Prabhuji. They have
Very developed.
responsibility. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Dhanyavad.
Okay, so I think that's all for today. Uh, um, thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhesha, vasindubhe evacha, patitanam pavanebhyo, vaishnavebhyo namo. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If I spoke anything wrong, please forgive me as a humble servant. Dhanavad Pranam. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So,
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Srila
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandat Pranam.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dhanavad Pranam.